All right, hello. Welcome to this stream of Knights Baseball on this Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to anybody who's watching that is a father. And if you have a father, I know it's getting a bit late, but there is still time for you to kick in and be able to tell your father Happy Father's Day. Let him know he's appreciated for helping bring you into this world. Just gonna be saying the lineup. Hawkins is gonna be getting in for Mulberry. And I believe Fats Porkman, yes, that's right, Fats Porkman with a huge hit last game with him hitting a grand slam home run with a sub 100 batting average. We'll be seeing it out as it's Slick Lil's turn to be on the, or rather, behind the dish. So let's get ready as the Knights take on the Freebooters at Lafayette Corner in game, I believe, it will be game 9 of the 11-game road trip.
Lafayette Corner. Hold on to your hats. Use the handy hat handles. Now batting, the shortstop, number 27, Zoom Legstrong.
And we're going to pause for just a little bit before we get started. I just remembered I need to take care of something real quick. And thank you for your patience. Now let's play ball. Zoom Legstrong coming in up to bat. He has the best batting average at 537. No doubts about that. He's done a very good job at getting on base, but he's not going to get on base here.
Now batting,
We're out number 1.
Field, number 21, Happy Feller.
Happy Feller hitting a pop fly, and that's not really going to do anything. Oh, my goodness.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 7,
Jim Stanky. Both Jim Stanky and Happy Feller have had rough games of recent, but Jim Stanky is going to get on base. Unlike Happy Feller, he's going to break the hitless streak. Chad Powers stepping in, seeing if he can knock in a run. And Chad Powers hits this one deep, and that is no doubt gone. 2-run homer for the Knights to open up the first. Stanky, with that distractor trait, really making it hard for pitchers to go up against him.
Now batting, the second
setting up Chad Powers beautifully. Tony Rodriguez settling in. He's done a decent job. Not as great as we hoped at the start of the season, but he's been pretty serviceable. And Rod Cooker has been a suitable replacement for when Tony Rodriguez has been tense. Nick Diedges is going to strike Tony Rodriguez out. I was just going to bring up his accuracy and how he's going to be pitching up against us. But that'll be the end of the first inning. We'll score 2 runs. Frago Balstonados will be on the bump. He's had 2 wins and a no decision so far. Game he was pitching, starting pitching. that the team ended up getting a loss at. He did not take the loss for that one. That went to screw you.
Number 26, Cash Vasquez.
So right now, his win-loss record is still unblemished with 2-0 overall. A ground ball to Tony Rodriguez. Leg strong to Stanky. That's a double play easy.
The first baseman, number 0.
For some reason,
Abducci.
Frago Balstanados just has that it factor that makes him a quality outing for the Knights every time he takes the bump. He makes sure that he can get that quality outing. That fair ball's going to go right up the first baseline. Powers is going to chase it down, not really able to get a good handle on it, and the Freebooters are going to have a double for Guns Jackman, the most dangerous hitter in the Freebooters batting order. Guns Jackman, of course, just having so much power and contact, but this time he's only able to hit a line drive to Stanky, so the Knights hold on to a 2-0 lead and don't let any in.
Now batting, the left fielder.
Vinder
number
Hawkins
51.
up at the plate.
Vinder
He's done a
Hawkins.
very surprisingly good job. The Knights did bring him originally on the team to be a solid replacement in the outfield in case an injury or somebody gets tense and just needs some rest. But he has done a fairly good job as he gets a double that just perfectly arches to find that
Slick Little.
outfield grass. Slick Lil coming up to the plate. It doesn't feel like he's hit a whole lot, but the 200 batting average says, hey, at least I'm getting the bat on the ball. And there's the pickoff throw to Watkins, and it's going to be no good. He's not going to third. And Nick DeEdge is just striking hitters out.
Number 12.
I believe that's his third strikeout today. Tyrone Bendwood is going to ground out. He's going to advance Watkins over to third.
Number 40.
But Frago Balstandos will be up at the plate. Nick DeEdges with an even 2 ERA. So already the Knights are doing better than average on him. Balstandos will be able to knock another run in. That's 3-0. And the Knights pitchers have a surprisingly good knack at getting base hits. I can't really explain that one, honestly. They're just able to get the bat on the ball and make the ball get the grass. And Zoom leg strong, grounding out to Guns Jackman. They're just going to throw it over to second for the force out. But the Knights extend the lead to 3 as we head to the bottom of the second.
Now batting, the right fielder, number 9, Patience Evergreen.
Patience Evergreen. Now at the bat. Ooh, that one's going to go deep, probably in the third deck, that foul ball. My goodness. And Happy Feller's going to have to go deep for this one, but he'll get it right before the warning track for out number 1.
Third baseman, number 25, Bad Hop Brown.
Bad Hop Brown. What a name. That is definitely a baseball name if I ever heard it. Zoom leg strong, jumping up, but not able to quite get this one as it heads into center field grass as the Freebooters get a single.
Number 23, Walker runs.
And Walker runs up at bat now. 1 strike, or 1 out, 1 ball, 1 runner on first. Golly, sorry. Still a little bit disoriented, but I decide, hey, give it a shot. We'll stream one of the games for the Knights today. It was going to be earlier originally, but something came up. So, we have a ground ball to Bendwood. Gets the runner at second out, but it's not going to be enough to get the double play. So, the inning will continue. first pitch slayer kind of makes it so that you got to pitch the first one outside regardless. You don't want to give them a free hit, especially just how it is. Slick Little, way too hesitant on the pickoff. Or not the pickoff, but trying to get him caught stealing. But it's all good. A ground ball to Stanky makes it a out number 3. Happy Feller going to start us off in the top of the third.
Happy Feller.
And he's going to ground out over to Bad Op Brown, and that'll be out number 1. Dear Lord, Happy Feller's been having a rough go of it.
Stanky.
Jim Stanky now at the plate. And a foul ball. That's going to be caught in foul territory, out number 2. And with only 3 pitches, or with only 2 pitches, they're only 1 out away from getting out of the inning. But Chad Powers deep and gone into the upper deck. Home run, Chad Powers. That'll be his 2nd of the day, back to back. And Chad Powers recently has just come alive as the cleanup hitter that he is meant to be for these Knights.
20, Tony Rodriguez.
Maybe it was the losing streak that brought him into gear, but whatever it is, Chad Powers is finally living up to the billing. Tony Rodriguez grounds out over to Walker runs, and that'll be the end of the inning. But the Knights extend their lead again to 4.
T-shirt howitzer has had to be retired. Shirts are still available for purchase on the concourse in boring hand-to-hand fashion. Now batting the pitcher, number 3, Nick DeEdges.
All right, Nick DeEdges, the pitcher-on-pitcher matchup. First time with Nick DeEdges at the plate. And out on 3 pitches. That's what you like to see. Raganato pumping his fist at that one.
Stockton Brickhouse.
Stockton Brickhouse. He's definitely built like a brick house. Dear God. And a foul ball. Here we go. Let's see if he can get... Well, he is going to get 2 outs on 6 pitches. It's just going to be a ground ball and not a strikeout. A ground ball over to Stanky for out number 2. All right, Cash Basket. Now, at bat.
No, inside.
Definitely known more for the fielding. But she is going to get a ground ball hit. And that'll make it a single, so the inning is not going to be 3 up, 3 down like we want.
Number 0,
Pump Douchey. I've always found that name to be a bit more on the funny side than the average of these names. Though they are pretty all amusing one way or the other. With some exception, of course. And there we go, strike 3. And now we head to the top of the 4th. Knights up 4-0.
Now batting, the left fielder, number 51, Vinder Hawkins.
Vinder Hawkins at the plate. He got a nice double to start his first time up at bat. He's going to hit a little bit of a blooper into center, but sliding catch. And that's going to be out number 1. Oh, so disappointing to have that happen. And a high strike to Slick Little. Slick Little, despite having such a bad batting average, is the better out of the 2.
Third
And
baseman, number 12.
to be fair, it definitely could be worse. Tyrone Benwood, he did get his first pitch, or first hit rather, last game. Finally glad to have that off his back. I believe it was a triple if I'm not mistaken. But he's going to strike out this go around. I shouldn't have swung at that. And now we go to the bottom of the 4th as the Freebooters are still struggling to get out. Not outs, but they are struggling to get on the board. Balstanados, Ballenstandos, also just pitching so well. He has been so consistent for the Knights, and you gotta feel like he is living up to the number 2 pitcher billing.
Number 9, Patience Evergreen.
And the way he's pitching right now, his stats don't, or his grading doesn't say it, but you could argue with the stats he's putting up this season, he could be some team's ace pitcher with how well he's thrown these couple games that he's done, these first 3. And that'll be a line drive to leg strong, caught for out number 3.
Now batting, the pitcher, number 40, Frago,
That's a
Ballenstandos.
strike and a half, my friend.
Frago Ballenstandos,
Ball. That's inside.
an absolute beast on the mound, and he has done a decent amount with the bat as well. Definitely more than expected of him.
You're out.
But he's going to strike out this go around for out number 1.
The shortstop,
Zoom
number
leg strong
27,
coming up to the
Zoom
plate.
Leg
Yep,
strong.
That's inside. You bet that's a strike.
Oh, man.
Ball.
And a ground ball hit right back to Nick DeEdges.
Now batting,
And that'll be
center
out
fielder,
number
21,
2.
Happy Feller.
Happy Feller, no hits today, but that's a hard hit one into center. It just doesn't have the distance or the speed to hit the grass. 0 for 3. Happy Feller is just having a rough day.
Number 23,
But the Knights aren't overall, as a 4-0 game. Hawkins can't quite reach up that wall to grab it, and the Freebooters will start with a double to lead off the inning. I tell you, the second I always talk about these things, it just seems to go south. And Stanky diving for that one, but not able to get it. What the heck? Why wasn't Stanky going to first? Or back to first? Well, this seems to be possibly a good chance. But Oakley Stiffs will be coming in to pitch hit. They're going to try to capitalize. As Nick DeEdges, that'll be enough from him. 5 innings of work, or not even 5. No, 5 innings of work. 5 innings of work. I don't know why I thought otherwise. Freebooters finally get a number on the board other than the goose egg. A bad pitch, Ballenstandos. Not. We're seeing a little bit shaken up. He's only had 1 complete game, but a double play will at least get him out of this inning as we head to the 6th, but not before the Freebooters get 1 run.
Now batting, the first baseman,
And
number 7,
Jim Stanky
Stanky.
up at bat. He got a his last time up. And he'll get another one as this will find the outfield grass into right. And his mojo is back to neutral. Good to see. And that brings up the special of Chad Powers at bat, Jim Stanky on base.
That's a strike.
Ooh, man.
That's a strike and a half, my friend.
And Kent Ratherswell, the pitcher to relieve Nick DeEdges for the Freebooters. This one hit up the middle, and Chad Powers, 3 for 3 on the day. He is definitely looking at that MVP spot this game.
Tony Rodriguez.
Tony Rodriguez now at the plate,
No, inside.
seeing if he can get a couple RBIs onto his total. Only 3 this season. And this one he's not going to be able to get, but he is going to be safe. A major flub of the ball. Second baseman tossed it over to the shortstop, and it just didn't connect, and everybody is safe. But a pop fly on this one is actually, even though it's on the outfield grass, is going to count as an infield fly for out number 1.
Number 32.
Slick Little with a chance to get an RBI, though. 2 balls, no strikes to Slick Lil. Slick Lil's gonna find the gap in center. And here it goes. 1 run is in, 2 runs are in. It's 6-1
The third
Knights.
baseman, number 12, Tyrone Bendwood.
Tyrone Bendwood now at bat.
You bet that's a strike.
Strike 1.
Down.
Bendwood has been struggling this season, not able to get a whole lot of hits with a 77 batting average, but he's going to get a knock on this one. The throw to the plate is not in time, and Tyrone Bendwood will have his first RBI.
Now pitching, Steamboat Whistle.
Steamboat Whistle will be coming in for Kent Ratherswell, as Frago Ballinstandos will be at bat. Runners at the corners, 1 out. 7-1 Knights.
High ball. Strike.
And there's strike 1. 2 balls. And there's a ground ball to short. 1-2 double play. And that'll be the end of the inning, but not before the Knights put up 3, 7-1, as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
Now everyone gets a bite. Now batting the first baseman, number 0, Bob Duchesne.
What's a strike?
And a ground ball to Legstrong. Legstrong will throw it over to first. Stanky's got it. Out number 1.
Stop number 27, Guns Jackman.
Guns Jackman apparently tense. Just not a good day for him. A 250 batting average, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs on the season. Freebooters, one of the lower teams in the league. Line drive to Stanky. That's out number 2.
Number 9, Patience Evergreen.
Patience Evergreen. That's going to be a ground ball over to Tony Rodriguez, thrown to Stanky for out number 3 as we go to the top of the 7th.
Now batting the shortstop, number 27, Zoom Legstrong.
Ball.
Oh, Zoom Legstrong gets the bat under this one. This will go deep into left, but it'll be cut at the warning track for out number 1.
21,
Ugh.
Happy Feller.
Happy Feller trying to make sure he'll leave this game with a hit one way or the other.
High ball.
He's been struggling for a couple games now, finally getting a base hit, and he is on the board with a single.
Now batting the first baseman, number
Jim
7,
Stanky
Jim
settling in.
Stanky.
Ball inside.
Quietly putting on a very impressive season. 375 batting average, 12 RBIs, but he'll hit into a double play and end the inning.
Now batting the third baseman, number 25, Bad Hop Brown.
Bad Hop Brown will be hitting a 2-seam fastball that'll streak its way into center and for a single.
Now batting the second baseman.
And now you gotta start asking, with that pitch count climbing, currently at 61, when is Frago gonna be pulled, if at all?
Outside.
Under what circumstances is it going to happen that he'll be pulled? But this time, it's going to be a slow line drive over to Legstrong, out number 1. You really don't want to give him a good first pitch, so hopefully this just is outside the zone.
That's
And there we go. That changeup of Frago really putting in some work. Oh, they almost got the throw from the outfield over to first for the out, but runners on first and second, 1 out. And now the Freebooters are threatening
inside.
to get this back into a competitive game. And a ground ball will make it so that Stanky will just pick it up and tag her with the glove for out number 2.
Stockton Brickhouse.
Stockton Brickhouse, very dangerous hitter with runners at scoring position. Just foul, avoiding the potential fair ball. That could have been danger if it was. the way that would careen onto the wall in foul territory. And this foul ball is going to make it so Tony Rodriguez is just going to pick it up, dish it over to Stanky, and that'll be out number 3. Grace Lupovic will be coming into pitch
Now batting
for the
right
Free
field, number 9,
Booters.
Chad Powers.
Chad Powers, no surprise, he is on fire these past couple games. Absolutely pulling up when the Knights needed him most to help work them out of that slump, but a ground ball over the third is going to bring him back to the locked-in stage.
Number 20, Tony Rodriguez.
Tony Rodriguez,
Strike.
very late swing. Off-season, there are allegations that he is a mobster on the side, and his comments on that were, hey, look, not every guy from Jersey that is Italian is a mobster. Capiche? Don't ever let me catch you talking to me about bad about me again. He didn't actually address the allegations directly. He just said that as the comment. But either way, Vinder Watkins,
You bet
1
that's
ball,
a
2
strike.
strikes. And this one's going to be a shallow fly ball into center. That's going to be the end of the top half of the inning. As the Freebooters go to the bottom of the 8th, still down 6 runs, 7-1.
You bet that's a strike.
Ballin Standos feeling a little bit of the tire of the game. He doesn't really have any major perks that make him able to endure like Ace Hurlington IV. But he is capable of pitching well, clearly. Pomp Douchey is able to get a single. Oh, Hawkins in left, catches this ball, and that'll be out number 2. Golly, for a second there, that sounded good off the bat and looked like for a moment it was going to find grass.
That's a strike.
Watkins with his legs. He was definitely running there. No walking about it. And a ground ball, or no, a line drive to Rodriguez. I thought that was going to hit the ground at some point, but it never did.
Slick Little.
Slick Lil starting off the inning for the Knights. And he's just going to pop up the first pitch for a fly ball, out number 1.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 12, Tyrone Bendwood.
Tyrone Bendwood finally getting some hits with a single as last at bat. Still not the greatest, and now he strikes out on 3 pitches,
Now batting,
swinging
pitcher,
at all of
number
them.
40, Frago Ballin Standos.
Ball.
Frago, Ballin Standos. You got the outfield playing shallow for him. And a ground ball that'll be right back to the pitcher. That'll be out number 3.
Low down, dirty sliders. You'll be sliding into seconds, thirds, and even fourths of these delicious mini hamburgers. Available now in the concourse. Now batting,
Right now, the Knights are 3 outs away from back-to-back wins. This would definitely help them in the tight division race, in which right now, the only thing separating the Knights and the Berserkers in that division is the run differential. The 2 big slaughters that the
Ball low.
Knights have dealt out this game, the one against the Wild Pigs, 17-0, and the one against the Moonstars, 11-2, being really the majority of it. This one is going to be a home run off the bat. Very well done, high over that left field wall, as the Freebooters get a second run to bring them within 5, and that might be the day for Ballin Standos, as he is at 90 pitches.
Time. It's time.
And yes, it is going to be so. Screw You is going to be coming into
Screw
close. His screwball and his fastball, the only two pitches. Four-seam fastball and a screwball.
That's
The
down.
only pitches he has in his arsenal. His delivery is unique among the Knights pitchers. Ground ball over to leg strong. That'll be out number one.
Number 13, Jermaine Raines.
No, inside. That's inside.
And you already know there's going to be a pitch hitter for the next batter. The only real question is who's it going to be. Slick Lil is going to get this little dribbler that starts out at home and goes for out number two. And now Landon Fair is going to bat. He's going to pitch hit. He's got that pitch perfect,
That's inside.
so it would make sense that he is there. Not the best of hitters, but he is going to do enough to get on base. As the game will continue, and Stockton Brickhouse is going to get another go at it.
It's inside.
Thinking that his last at bat would have been the last one, but no, he's going to hit one up the middle, and now they're threatening to rally. Screw You has had some very difficult times closing out games. He has lost one game already for the Knights this season with his less than great results. And now the question is, can he close this one? Ground ball to leg strong and a throw to first. Say he can, as the Knights win this one 7-2. The final score, giving up 13 hits, so that is a little bit troubling. However, you can't deny the results. Chad Powers obviously getting the MVP with 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs. Bad Hop Brown with his home run being half of the Freebooters' runs will take second place. And Frago Ballenstandos will take the bronze medal and the MVP of the game. And now we gotta give it to Zoom Leg Strong. He has just been playing so well on that choice. No real question about it. While we sim the games, I'm going to step away for a little bit and get a drink. Alright, I'm back. I'm gonna check the comments, if there are any. Doesn't seem like we've had a whole lot of people coming in, but that's okay. Is what it is. This is mainly for my friend Alex anyway. He wanted to see the sports ball, see if Jim Stanky can finally get that championship. So the Berserkers did win their matchup, and they will put us in second despite our plus 33 run differential. Ooh, the wide load's getting a win over the Monsters, and the Jacks beating the Crocodons. Talk about upsets. Good night. So we are out of first place right now. All right. The first major free agent signing. Blamo Tamale will be signed by the Beewolves, replacing Poke Foster. So you know they aren't satisfied. They aren't going to sit on their laurels. As, dear God, the jump in payroll. Paying Poke Foster $3.6 mil and exchanging that for paying $18.4 mil to Blamo Tamale. Golly, what a jump. Honestly, we should be looking at seeing if we can get a couple changes in free agency. The only question is, where would those changes be, and do we have the cash flow to make it happen? Honestly, I think the big one will be getting Juniper Thicket out of the starting rotation. Trying to find a good replacement for her, that would be ideal. Sorry. My body is going into autopilot, winding down. I think I can at least try to play one more for you guys, as the Knights will do a 2-game set to end their road trip against the Sirloins. And you know what? We're going to put on the alternate greens for this one. What do they have for their alternate? Oh, red. Okay. All right. Into Apple Field we go to face the Sirloins.
Welcome back to Apple Field. Get your glove ready and your cheering hat on. It's time to play ball.
Chess King on the mound for the Knights.
Now batting, the shortstop,
But first, Zoom Legstrong up at bat. That one was way inside for a ball. Golly. Bugsy Snugs on the mound for the Sirloins this game. While they aren't known for their pitching is serviceable all the same. Zoom Legstrong, though, hitting one right up the middle, and he's got a base hit to start.
Number 21, Happy Feller.
Oh, they're trying to get him with a pitch out. Seeing if they can throw off Zoom Legstrong. There's Happy Feller with a base hit. There's our 1-2 punch. As we get Jim Stanky up at bat now.
Jim Stanky.
He's been all right despite the fact that he's tense. Been a very important part of this offense. And Jim Stanky, a high fly ball into center left, but it'll be caught. That'll be out number 1. So Stanky will not be on the bases to help enhance Chad Powers' mind game, and that'll be, oh! The flip to second was fine, but the throw to first got in the dirt. Runners at the corners for Tony Rodriguez, 2 outs. And the Knights could get a run in the first inning again. Not by laying off pitches like that, though. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ooh, a clutch pitch. Bugsy Snugs with that BB prone. And Tony will foul it off for the at-bat to continue. He's going to ground this one over to first, and that'll be the end of the inning.
Now batting the third baseman.
And now the
Number
most
43,
dangerous part of the
Adelka
Sirloins,
Ayala.
their lineup of power hitters. Very dangerous. So Chess King will have to be a master today, dealing with the lineup. Tony Rodriguez throwing it over to first as he fields the ground ball. Out number 1.
Lloyd Cook.
Lloyd Cook. Batting .304. That's better than a good chunk of the Knights roster. But he's going to strike out on 3 pitches. Chess Kingman just painting that corner with that 2-seam fastball. Oh, that one ends up hanging over the plate, but it's a harmless ground ball over to Tony Rodriguez. And that'll be out number 3.
Please return to your vehicle. It's still on fire. Now batting the left fielder, number 51, Vinder Hawkins.
Vinder Hawkins up at the plate. He's going to ground out over to third and throw to first. Out number 2.
The catcher,
Or
number
out number 1.
32,
I don't know why I thought it was out number 2 for a second. Probably because Slick Low was up at bat and he's just popping up over to center.
Number 12,
Still
Tyrone
good
Benwood.
distance on it. Tyrone Benwood now having his batting average over a buck as he's batting 133. And 3 balls, no strikes. He might just get a 4-pitch walk. And he will take just that.
Now batting
As Tyrone
the pitcher,
Benwood is on
number
base for
61,
Chess King.
Chess King.
And Tyrone Benwood is going to try to steal, and he will. Second base is his. Chess King, he hasn't had a hit all season. Not really expected to as a starting pitcher. But still, it is a shame. Chess King just striking out, and that'll end the inning as we go to the bottom of the second.
Now batting the right fielder, number 90, Hammer Longballo.
And there's the poster boy for the league himself, Hammer Longballo. He's going to ground out on the first pitch right to Tony Rodriguez for out number 1.
Fielder, number 16, Filet Jones.
Filet Jones. Batting 5th, a lot of power in that bat, but not a whole lot of contact. Batting only 158, kind of reminds me of the likes of Fats Porkman and Tyrone Benwood with how they've struggled. But he is not going to struggle here as he hits one up the middle to get a single.
Now batting the center fielder, number 65, Damian Rush.
Right, Damian Rush, foul ball to open. And there is 2 back-to-back base hits for the Sirloins, and now you gotta be worried about them potentially scoring.
Stop, number 21, Willard Wiggins.
Willard Wiggins, known to be a better batter when runners are in scoring position. So this is definitely tricky. Chess King is going to have to find a way to get out of these scenarios often this game if the Knights are expected to win, and he strikes him out. That 2-seam fastball just hitting the edge of the strike zone. That seems to be his strikeout pitch this game. And this will be a ground ball. Stakey will get a glove on it, and that'll be out number 3. The Sirloins threaten, but they can't score. Top of the order for the Knights now in the top of the 3rd. And Zoom Legstrong hits this one up the middle, and my gosh, he is proving to be a great leadoff man for the Knights. Ever since Happy Feller has injury. Speaking of which, Happy Feller's up. He hasn't really been the same, but 2 back-to-back hits may mean he's getting his mojo back as he's getting back into a neutral state, getting rid of that tension. Jim Stanky now trying to see if he can load the bases for Chad Powers on deck. Instead, it looks like he's just going to hit into a double play on the first pitch. Very disappointing. But another run is the first run is 90 feet away if Chad Powers can just get a base hit. And an 0-2 count to Chad Powers. He has done great these past couple games, getting the Knights the runs to win, and he's going to continue here. A line drive that seemed to go right past the pitcher's face. That must have been a real scare. 1 run on for the Knights as they take the lead. Tony Rodriguez now on the batter's box. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs with Chad Powers on first. All right, Bugsy Snuggs maybe a little bit shaken up from giving up the first run of the game, but that's going back. Tony Rodriguez has hit a home run. My goodness. That sounded all right off the bat, but the way it was carrying it just seemed like it wasn't going to make it, but it rainbows over the fence, going 424 feet, and suddenly the Knights are up 3-0. And Vinder Hawkins, ground ball thrown out for out number 3.
Now batting, a pitcher, number 44, Bugsy Snuggs.
Bugsy Snuggs, the pitcher on pitcher duel, finally comes to him. Foul ball finally hit by Bugsy Snuggs, showing that he's not going to be a pushover this at bat. And a poorly targeted pitch by Chess King will make it so he's got to throw 1 more. But there's the strikeout as the top of the order is back to hitting for the Sirloins. Knights having a 3-0 lead to a RBI single hit by Chad Powers and a 2-run homer hit by Tony Rodriguez. Good to see him get on the board, honestly. That'll make it 2 strikeouts for Chess King. Well done.
Second baseman, number 10, Lloyd Cook.
Chess King really starting to feel locked in now. He's getting these batters out fairly easily with the way that he's done this. Lloyd Cook is going to get a drive onto this one. Happy Feller dives for that one, or slides rather, and catches that line drive before it can find grass. Amazing play by him. A Happy Feller indeed after that play. All right. So this is the first game since the start of the season that the Knights have not been in first. They have been pretty much in first ever since they got 3 wins, 0 losses. Slick Lil taking his base with the walk, and Tyrone Benwood up at bat. Tyrone Benwood walking his last time at bat. He's going to hit one up the middle, and now Tyrone Benwood is getting into the swing of things with another base hit. Good to see him get back to form. Chess King, he is still looking for his first hit, but there is no real pressure on him being the starting pitcher. Slick Lil tagging up, thinking about going to third, but decides to stay at second after a line drive is hit to left field, caught for out number 1. Zoom Legstrong runners at first and second. He has got an opportunity to get a good hit here. Batting .517, best batting average in the league, but he's going to pop out behind the dish, and it'll be caught for out number 2. Happy Feller now at bat. Trying to keep the inning alive and not wasting the runners. 3 balls, no strikes. We might have a, bases loaded walk. Or loading the bases with that walk for Jim Stanky. Last time the bases were loaded for Jim Stanky, he hit a grand slam. Will he hit another? No, but he is going to get a drive into right. That'll get a base hit and make it so that the bases stay loaded for Chad Powers. Chad Powers could get his first grand slam, but first, Shady comes up to the mound and says, "That's the day for you, Snugs," as she tries to stop any more damage from coming through. Chad Powers waiting for his pitch. Oh, bases loaded, 2 strikes. And Chad Powers makes the at-bat continue. Full count, clutch pitch. Everybody's going to be going. And there's the base hit, a liner on the grass to send 2 home with that single. 6-0 Knights.
Number 20, Tony Rodriguez.
Tony Rodriguez hit a home run his last time up. Will he hit another? So the B-Wolves making the first big free agency signing of the year, getting an S-ranked player to replace one of their bench players. Tony Rodriguez striking out the end of the side. With the B-Wolves being in first place as is, you can hardly see them not making the playoffs now after making that big of a signing, really solidifying a great outfielder to try to shade things up. Chess King unable to get a handle on the ball, making an infield single happen. An infield single happen. And my goodness. All right, Hammerlong Ballo up at bat. As he's been, he's one of the OGs, if you will, of the Super Mega League, but now the Super Duper Mega League. He is going to hit a ground ball to short, but double play is not really going to happen, as Hammerlong Ballo has surprisingly fast legs on that play. Yeah, Hammerlong Ballo, usually a shoo-in for the home run title. Haven't seen him in the top 10 for home runs yet so far, but speaking of home runs, Filet Jones is going to hit this one way. I think that ended up being in the 3rd deck, and that'll make it a 6-2 game. It did go all the way up to the 3rd deck. My, oh my. And that's what we were talking about at the start of the game. Chess King's challenge having to deal with the power out of this Sirloins lineup. But luckily, he has the run support from the Knights today, who have not let him down in that department. And I just realized today was Fat Porkman's day to be behind the dish, but Slick Lil is doing it today, both games, as Fats Porkman will be slated to go against the Sirloins, and he will be getting the dreaded duties of being the backstop for Juniper Thicket as the game goes on. God help us, that will be a massacre. A power swinging lineup against the worst starting pitcher debatably in the entire league. the Knights better win this game because I don't think they're going to win the next one after that. But so far, they're holding on well as striking out the batter there for out number 3 as we head to the 5th.
Fielder, number 51.
Vinder Hawkins up at bat to start off the inning. Ends up hitting a ground ball. Shady will
The catcher, number
receive
32.
the ball
Slick
for
Little.
out number 1. Slick Lil now at the plate. We're going to see if maybe, just maybe, he can get a hit here. Ooh, Slick Lil fouling it off. Slick Lil, a very close associate of Tony Rodriguez, business partner, if you will.
Tyrone Benwood.
That's how he got on the team in the first place. Tyrone Benwood coming up to the plate, having a fairly good day. A single and a walk. Not too shabby. But he is going to get his first out, possibly. No! The throw from third to first is not enough. And Tyrone Benwood is on base.
Pitching, Miguel Duke.
And Miguel Duke will be coming onto the mound to replace Shady. And Chess King is going to get his first hit, a bloop single into center. That just is able to get enough to float over everybody's heads. And now Zoom Legstrong is at the plate. And he's going to get this one. Oh, not quite up the middle, but Chess King slides into second. Safe, loading the bases for a 2-for-2 Happy Feller. Seeing if he can make it 3 for 3 and make sure none of these runners are stranded. And he's going to get one that'll just bite past the glove of their third baseman diving for it. 7-2 Knights for Stanky. Bases still loaded. Stanky got a single to drive in a run last time, and the bases were loaded then as well. One can only wonder what will happen now. 3 balls, no strikes. Are they going to walk up? They're going to walk a run in, and Chad Powers is going to come up to the bat with the bases loaded. This has got to be a nightmare for the Sirloins. Chad Powers batting .480, 7 home runs. And he's going to hit a dinker that's just going to be in front of the home plate. And that is got to be so anticlimactic. Knights go up, though, 8-2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
Number 27, Momo Tobo.
And Stanky fielding a hard hit ground ball. And that will be out number 1. Miguel Duke at bat for the first time. Today, I don't know ever, but he is going to get a good smack on this ball, hitting it into center. My gosh, that's impressive for a relief pitcher of all people. Of all types of people, rather. Now the question has got to come to Chess King and how long he is going to pitch. Because obviously he doesn't have the arms of Froggo or Ace Hurlington IV. But you got Juniper Thicket tomorrow. And you gotta question how long you're gonna want to tax her arm or take a chance on her arm, while it's a bit more on the questionable side in how she pitches. Oh, that ground ball fielded, not able to get the double play off though. Runners at first and second. Kit stands up. Benwood diving for it, not able to get it. And it'll be 8-3. Knights are still in the lead by 5, though. Runners on first and second for Hammer Longbalo, though. Don't want to take a chance on that. Leg strong, picks up the ground ball, throws it over the first and
Quick
retires
aside,
the
folks.
side.
Anyone else here able to get a
Very
signal?
active
I'm
last
with
two
Evermore
innings as we
Wireless.
head to the
I
sixth.
cannot get now batting the second baseman, number 20, Tony Rodriguez.
Tony Rodriguez wanting to start things off well for the Knights. Kind of disappointed how we ended up with the bases loaded and only able to score a run out of it, with that run being walked in out of all things. Full count to Tony Rodriguez, and he's going to be walked.
Now batting the left fielder,
Vinder
number 51,
Hawkins.
Vinder Hawkins.
Getting a base hit into right center. This one's going to get down. Tony Rodriguez is going to go to third. Hawkins is going to stay on
Now
first.
batting,
Runners at the
catcher,
corners.
number
No out
32,
for Slick Little.
Little.
And this ground ball is going to be stopped by Cook. Way to get it, but Slick Little's going to get on first. They're going to get the runner out at second, and a runner's going to score. Slick Little on first for Tyrone Benwood. 1 out. 9-3 the score for the Knights. Knights are looking for a third straight win to try to tie them in the standings with the Berserkers again. 3 balls, 1 strike. To Benwood, a ground ball to short. He's going to hit into a double play. And that'll end the top of the 6th as we go to Filet Jones. He hit a home run his last time up. Obviously, Chess King doesn't want any of that. This time up at bat. Don't want to give him any more fuel to the fire for a comeback. Line drive to Tony Rodriguez will nullify it. And that'll be out number 1. Damian Rush. Just having a hard time with the bat, but batting .250 overall, so can't knock him too much. We definitely have some batters who are worse off in their own right, but Chess King strikes him out, and that'll be out number 2.
Number 21, Willard Wiggins.
All right, so ground ball to Tony Rodriguez, gonna field it, and that'll retire the side. And we head to the 7th,
Now batting,
up
the pitcher,
9-3,
number 61,
6-run
King.
difference. Remember, the tiebreakers are decided by run
Now batting,
differential if
the
possible,
shortstop,
so
number 27,
as much
Zoom
as it does
Legstrom.
seem like, well, hey, the Knights are up by 6 runs, this seems like an easy win, just lay off the gas. No, sir. You need to
Now batting,
pour
the
it
center
on
fielder,
when you
number
can,
21,
in order to
Happy
make sure that you're not the one sitting out of the dance when the playoffs come around. Zoom Legstrong gonna steal this base. He's been the one to really light up the base paths for the Knights with his running. Happy Feller just waiting for it. Legstrong is gonna go for third on that pass ball, and he will make it safe in time. Full count to Happy Feller, and he is going to take a walk.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 7, Jim Stanky.
Jim Stanky is going to be waiting. Happy Feller's going to go and will be safe. And runners at second and third, 1-1 to Stanky with 1 out. And Stanky's going to hit this one into center, and he's going to knock in a run, and the Knights will have double digits, 10-3.
The right fielder,
Chad Powers up at bat.
Linus Digby.
Linus Digby being sent on the mound to replace Miguel Duke. Chad Powers is going to hit this one to center. And here we go, 11-3. The Knights are pouring it on. Well, they can. Jim Stanky doing his best to distract over there at second base. And Tony Rodriguez gets a good hit of this one. Drive into center, but caught by Damian Rush. Out number 2.
Now batting, the left fielder,
You get those good ones that get off the bat but just can't find the grass. Those are the ones that hurt the most sometimes. Vinder Hawkins is now at the plate. I just realized I was earlier saying his last name was Watkins because it fit with him walking and running and all that, but it's not that. It's Hawkins. Golly, what is wrong with me? I should be able to remember the names of my own players. Chess King still pitching away in that bottom of the 7th. Tony Rodriguez going to dive for this one, but I don't think the throw's going to be in time. Safe at first. Boomer Plachou is now at bat, and that is a scary sight, or would be if the Knights didn't have such a commanding lead. It's a 9-run lead. You just sent a pitcher who didn't even pitch a full inning to the bench just to pitch hits for him the next inning, trying to cover a 9-run gap, and that makes you wonder what is going on through the manager's head, especially when it's hidden to a double play. Good Lord. It's got to be bad for the Sirloins, but then you remember we play them when we have Juniper Thicket on the mound, so they'll probably just make up the run differential they lose in that game, unless Juniper Thicket can somehow find a way to be able to make the difference and pitch a better game. Stanky fielding the ground ball, and that'll retire the side as we go to the 8th. Split Seamerson will be on the mound for the Sirloins now. Slick Little on to the batter's box. An 8-run gap between the two teams right now. But Split Seamerson's going to strike out Slick Little for out number 1.
Tyrone Bendwood.
Now here we go, Tyrone Bendwood. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. And there's Bendwood, line drive into left, and he'll get on base. He's really finding his rhythm now. That's good to know.
Number 61, Chess King.
And Tyrone Bendwood is going to steal second as he catches the fielders off guard in their positioning. In the bunt formation against Chess King. They should know the Knights don't bunt. They just don't do it, and that's part of the reason why a slow roller into left is a base hit for Chess King, and that'll be his second hit of his career and season. Zoom Lakestrong up at bat with runners at the corners, 1 out, as they threaten to pour more onto the Sirloins. Maybe get some of that steak sauce. And Zoom Lakestrong will take his base as the bases are loaded for Happy Feller. I don't think the bases have been loaded for Happy Feller yet. If they have been, I don't remember what he did, which means he probably got out if it happened. And there's a foul ball hit. Looks like another potential walk. But now it's a full count. Bases loaded, 1 out. And this one's going to be right up the middle. Happy Feller's going to knock in a run and keep the bases loaded for Jim Stanky. And he's going to first pitch hidden to right. The bases will stay loaded. Up comes Chad Powers for a 13-3 ball game. And the Sirloins have got to be wondering, where did it all go wrong this game? Oh, very inside. Almost hit Chad Powers. Strike 2. Last time Chad Powers Bases loaded, very anticlimactic ground ball that was just in front of home plate. This one, he seems to be swinging the bat a bit more, and he strikes out. Good God, no. That is not what you want at all.
Tony Rodriguez.
Tony Rodriguez up at the plate. Maybe he can do something with the bases loaded. You don't want to leave them all stranded. 2 strikes, 1 ball. There's ball 2. Tony Rodriguez with a clutch pitch coming up. Everybody goes, and here come the Knights. The noodle arm makes it so that second runner is able to score. Runners at first and second for Bender Hawkins.
Pitching,
Franz Zilla now coming into pitch, and I think that's exhausted all the primary relief pitchers for the Sirloins. And Zilla can't field the ball as he gets first on the ground ball. So that'll mean Slick Lil will have bases loaded, 2 outs for him in a 15-3 ball game. The Knights are going to try to make it so that at the very least you can't doubt their run differential. And a clutch pitch again. Everybody's going. And foul ball to reset everybody. Foul ball again to reset everybody. And this one, Slick Little is going to just hit a pop fly that'll go to left and caught. But they'll get 4 runs in that inning. As now you don't really worry that much about leaving Chess King out there to dry a bit. With a 12-run lead now. It'll look bad on his ERA if he gives up a couple more runs, but it's not going to really matter in the win-loss column. And now, you got Chess King. Ground ball to leg strong. 1-2 double play. And Hammer Longballo. Hammer Longballo really likes smacking the fastball, so you gotta give him the breaking pitches. The stuff with the movement. Stanky practically falling on that ball, not able to stop it as it gets past. All right, Filet Jones is going to hit this one into right. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. And now with the pitch count getting to 98, you're starting to wonder, when do you pull him out? Do you have him pitch the 9th? Bendwood dives, gets that ball before it can go to outfield grass, throws it over to first and retires the side as we head to the 9th.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 12.
Tyrone Bendwood to start off. Frank Zilla, 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Tyrone Bendwood gets a good hit on that, but it'll just be a line drive to short. And yeah, we think Chess King is done for the day. But Puckerton will be coming in to hit. As the Knights will try to get a couple more runs to increase that run differential. 2 balls, 1 strike to Butt Puckerton. Diving is Lloyd Cook, and he'll throw out Puckerton before he can make his way to the base.
Zoom Legstrom.
Zoom Legstrong drives this one into left center. And that will be a double for Legstrong.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 21, Happy Feller.
All right, Happy Feller up at bat. Legstrong on second. Don't know why he swung at that one. That was closer to his face than the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a clutch pitch. Runners. Oh, Legstrong did a risky move, stealing third on that one, but he'll get in. Runners at the corners for Stanky coming up to bat. And now Feller is going to get thrown out. Oh, no. And Bob Hurlington, the fourth, is going to be coming into pitch. Hopefully to just get 3 up, 3 down against the Sirloins. You don't really worry about it too much, though, not with a lead this big. Tony Rodriguez, ground ball. There's out number 1.
The catcher, number 27, Momo Obo.
Now, a ball hit into right. Powers can't quite get the throw in time.
Mick Steele.
Mick Steele coming into pitch hit for Frank Zilla. As obviously the Sirloins do not expect to be needing any pitching for the rest of this game. That much is certain. Not for the reasons they'd like, of course. Mick Steele will get a hit. Runners at first and second. And this is a little bit concerning for Bob. You kind of hoped it would just be quick and easy, especially when you know that Juniper Thicket will be the pitcher that'll be starting next game. You need as many healthy arms available for that bullpen. Bob striking out that batter as 1 out away. Lloyd Cook, the batter. AZ is going to get a drive into center. Happy Feller's going to throw this ball in, but it's not going to get in fast enough until the runner scores. 15-4, the Knights are still with an 11-run lead. Runners at the first and second for Cat Stanza. And Hammer Longballo is on deck. But he won't get a chance to bat as Cat Stanza strikes out, and that'll end the game. Knights win decisively by a score of 15-4. What a game for the Knights. Good to see as they head to their final game of the homestand. Happy Feller gets MVP, going 4 for 4, 2 RBIs, 3 runs and a stolen base. Tony Rodriguez will take the silver medal for a home run, 4 RBIs and 2 runs. And Zoom Legstrong, the bronze medal for going 5 of 6, double, 3 runs and 2 stolen bases. Kind of weird. I personally would have put Zoom Legstrong in second over Tony Rodriguez, but hey, that's just me. I'm sorry, Ace Hurlington. We gotta make you stock it. Happy Feller's already not in the best of moods, despite his name being Happy Feller. But hey, we all have our sad, mad, and glad moments. Got some games around the league. The Sandcats being first place in their division, having a 1.5 game lead. Spiders trying to stay in the wild card race. Oh, the Heaters make the Berserkers drop a game, so we are half a game up currently on them. And we have the run differential cushion of 24, thanks to a blowout like that, and that is why you don't let up the gas. The Beewolves trying to get back at the top of the division as they tie the leaders, the Heaters, at 10-6. All right. Juniper Thicket. That will be the question of how well can the Knights play with Juniper Thicket on the mound. Fats Porkman will be coming in to catch, and Tyrone Benwood will move up in the order 1. Tony Rodriguez is getting juice. Don't ask him where he got that. You better not ask. Slick Lil giving some of the good stuff to him. As we will take a look. Yeah, free agent moves are starting to happen. All right, Happy Feller losing his secondary position. Not that big of a deal. We'll take those. And now free agent movings. Let's see. Rita Recadone gets signed onto the Moonstars, replacing Clyde Oliver. Another big boost as the Moonstars try to keep up with the rest of the league. Player development. We'll give Butt Puckerton some victory vitamins. Why not? All right. I don't think we're going to be playing another match today, but let's go ahead and take a look at the top 10 leaders. Wheats Sormore will be MVP. Golly, these berserkers are really turning into our rivals. Ace Hurlington and Frago Balstanos will take the other 2 spots at the podium. Chad Powers, number 6 on the top 10 players, so we have 3 Knights in the top 10. Good to know. Zoom Legstrong and Chad Powers, the top 2 batting averages in the league. No surprise there with the way they've been hitting the ball. Happy Feller, that is a bit of a surprise to still see him there. And Butt Puckerton, even though he hasn't been starting in the lineup, still holding that 404 in that number 8 spot. Chad Powers tied with league leading in home runs, with 4 other batters, I might add. But he has the most runs batted in, so he is proving his point. Has the best slugging and the best on-base plus slugging, and the second best on base. Only second to Zoom Legstrong. Honestly, I might sub in Butt Puckerton again. Looking at these stats, I know Tyrone Benwood has been getting back in the swing of things, but I don't know, man. It's just Butt Puckerton. How are you going to beat Butt Puckerton? Pitching-wise, Ace Hurlington, the only real one in the top with the wins, the only one left undefeated, honestly. But Frago Balanstandos with a top 10 ERA. He's Hurlington the 4th, top 10 strikeouts. And obviously we don't walk that much, so it's not that big of an issue. All right. Now let's take a look at the really important stats. How good everybody's doing overall. Division-wise, obviously, you still have a lot of games left to be played, so not anybody completely out of our division in a chance to get on a hot streak and get back into this thing. Although for the hot corners, time is of the essence, as they don't have a whole lot of room left for error, as we are already over a fourth of the way through the season, as this season is only 48 games. And we've got in the wild card standings. Who gets to stay? Who has to go? And right now, none of the teams in the Sandcats division are in position to take a wild card spot. The closest that they have to a second are two 8-8 teams, and that it will not be enough, as the Berserkers are obviously almost tied with us, only a half game back, and the Spiders are 9-7. So we might have three teams from our division being in the 3 out of the 4 spots in our conference in the playoffs. Crocodons and Heaters, the division leaders. On the other side, with the Mega Conference, with the Monsters and the Beewolves currently in the wild card spot. But that playoff race is just a tad tighter, with the wide loads only being a half game back. Well, that will be the end of the stream. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you again next time as we finish off the road trip for the Knights as they take on the Sirloins in the second game with Juniper Thicket on the mound. God help us all. I'll see you all then.